Books on Tape presents Silence is Golden, a Hilda Johansson mystery by Jeanne M. Dams. Read by Kate Redding. Chapter 1. Big crowd at the circus. Record-breaking day for Ringling Brothers shows. South Bend Tribune, April 28, 1903. Much later, after it was all over, after the fear and the anguish and the horror were past, Hilda was to wonder when and how it began. Had it been when the other boy disappeared, a year ago and more? Perhaps even farther back, when a twisted mind first conceived a dreadful plan? For her and those she loved, it really began that day in the park. "And I'll treat you both. Now how's that for a handsome offer?" Patrick gave Hilda his most winning smile, twisting one end of his luxuriant moustache. Hilda pushed with her toe and set her swing into gentle motion. "I would like that, Patrick," she said mildly. "But Eric—" "I want to go!" Eric jumped from his swing. "Oh, please! I'll be good, I promise. All my life I've wanted to go to the circus." His face was full of passionate longing, and Hilda smiled. It was certainly true that her little brother wasn't getting a lot of fun out of life. But as Eric's life compassed only a little more than 12 years, and he had never heard of a circus until his arrival in America 5 months ago, she was not overly concerned. "I do not mind. You may come if you wish. Only Mamma will not like it." Eric's face fell. He dug one toe into the ground and scowled. "Mamma never lets me do anything, or anybody else either. I bet she won't even let you go. Not with Mr. Kavanaugh." "I will do as I think best," Hilda said, raising her chin. "I am a grown woman, not a naughty little boy. You have given Mamma much worry, Eric. You know you have." "And so have you," Eric shot back. "She doesn't like you going around with a Catholic. It's wicked, she says. She says—" "That," said Patrick, "is enough out of you, my boy. Now run off and play, and let your sister and me have some peace." "But I want—" The combined glares of Hilda and Patrick silenced him. Scuffing the grass defiantly with his Sunday shoes, he set off to find more congenial company. He found it almost immediately in a boy Hilda knew slightly, a friend of Eric's who lived near the Johansson family. The two of them capered away, shouting and turning cartwheels. Patrick watched them with amusement. "He's a pretty good acrobat, that one. Look at that! Flipped right over and landed on his feet. Who is he?" "His name is Fritz, I think. I cannot remember his last name. He is German. They live just around the corner from my family, on Robertson Street." "Look at me! Watch me!" The timeless boy cries came faintly from a far corner of the park, where Fritz, if that was his name, was walking along the narrow railing at the park's edge, as sure-footed as if it were the grass. Hilda frowned. He should not do that. The river is just on the other side. If he should fall, or if Eric should decide to try— But Fritz did not fall, nor did he entice Eric to dangerous feats. He jumped down and led Eric on a wild chase through the trees. Hilda sighed and prodded her swing into motion once more. The grass was damp. Beneath the swings it was sparse, turning to mud in places. April had not been a kind month thus far. With Easter a week past, the weather was still wet and cold. Though the clouds that hovered overhead were not actually producing rain, they obviously intended to do so any minute. It wasn't the best sort of afternoon for the park, but Hilda and Patrick nearly always went there when they walked out together, and she wasn't free to pick and choose her times of leisure. As live-in housemaid for the Studebaker family at their mansion, Tippecanoe Place, she worked hard from dawn till far past dusk every day except Wednesday, when she had most of the afternoon off, and Sunday when she was given, at least nominally, the whole day. Church attendance, however, was mandatory, and after church she was expected to eat Sunday dinner with her large family in their small house. That little ritual had been a pleasure in times past. It was Hilda's one chance in the week to see her family, to speak Swedish, to eat Swedish food, to revive fading memories of her roots. Her older sister, Gudrun, was a good cook, which made it easier to tolerate her tendency to boss Hilda around. And brother Sven and younger sister Freya were both dears in their very different ways. But now that Mamma and the 3 youngest siblings had come to live in America, "It is good for Eric to run in the park, to have space," said Hilda. "It is too crowded at home now. There are too many of us. On the farm there was one big room, kitchen and parlor combined. We were not pushed together as we are now. The house was old, and it was not... She gestured, hunting for the right word. "Fancy?" Patrick suggested. "Well built?" Hilda frowned and shook her head. "I do not know the right word. It was built well. My grandfather built it. But it was not a city kind of house, not an American house. For us it was better. The house was cold in winter, anyway up in the loft where we slept, but there was plenty of wood to burn in the stove, so the kitchen was always warm. And when my father was alive, there was good food. We were happy until he died. Then—" Her voice trailed off. Patrick could see in her eyes memories of hard times perhaps like those he could remember just back in Ireland. They were not happy memories. "But we're here now, darling girl. We're in America where we have good jobs. We don't have to go hungry any more." There had been a time when Hilda would have reproved Patrick for his term of affection. Now that they had admitted their feelings for each other, she let him say what he wanted. She even let him kiss her on rare occasions. This was not such an occasion. "We are not hungry, no. But there is more in life than food." "Not when you're starving, there isn't. It's all you can think about, all you want. I can still remember the pain in my belly, small though I was then." Hilda touched his hand in sympathy. Never, she knew, never when things were at their worst had her family suffered as the Irish had. There had always been something for the Johanssons to eat. True, it had never been quite enough, not after her father's death. Tending the farm had been hard without him, and the weather had been bad for several years in a row. But food of a sort there had always been, and if Hilda had grown very tired of potatoes and beets day in and day out, she had tried not to complain. Mamma had worked so hard to keep her 7 children healthy. It had seemed ungrateful to complain. Then the 4 eldest had left the farm and come to America, and after 6 long years of toil and scrimping they had finally been able to bring the rest of the family to South Bend. "I thought it would be better," she burst out resentfully. "I thought it would be wonderful to have Mamma here again and the little ones. But even with me living at Tippecanoe Place there are too many in Sven's house, and Mamma does not like you, and she tries to tell me what to do, and she is too strict with Eric, and I do not like it." Another woman might have wept, but Hilda stamped her foot. The swing bucked wildly. Patrick didn't laugh. He knew his Hilda and her temper, and in truth the situation was not a laughing matter. He shook his head. "Eric needs a firm hand. He ought to be going to school." "His English is not yet good enough." "Ha! It's better than yours," said Patrick bluntly. "Kids that age, they pick it up like breathing." "He speaks well, yes, like an American almost, but he cannot read English well yet, or write it. Only a little." "I still say he needs school or something to keep him up to snuff. He's a nice enough kid, but he's spoiling for trouble, that boy." "Patrick, he is my favourite. Of all my brothers and sisters, he is the one most like me. He is smart—" "And stubborn," Patrick put in. "Yes, when he thinks he is right, like me. And loving, like me." She gave Patrick a sidelong look. He grinned and aimed a peck at her cheek. "Anyway," she pursued, dodging away, "Eric maybe needs a little more discipline. Sven works so hard he does not have time to talk so much to Eric and tell him what is right and what is not. But he does not need to be scolded all the time and treated like a baby.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?